Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
I'm a 49-year-old man, and I'm a father to 2 kids from my previous marriage, and I have one more daughter, i.e. my stepdaughter, with my now wife. I divorced pretty much later in my life after both my kids turned 18. I know it's confusing, but hell, I'm tired, and no, I don't have time to rest. So simply, my kids have a difference of 2 years. So after the second left for college, we two decided to separate because my wife wanted to see the world on her own. And honestly, our relationship didn't have the smoothest start. My wife and I used to be best friends with benefits, and she got pregnant. We weren't that in love with each other, but decided that we will make it through it. We both have always taken our marriage seriously and have always remained monogamous, and now that the kids are gone, living their own life, and we went to live ours. We're still best friends with each other and do our best to co-parent. I love her so much, and I really love our kids too, but I had to let go and find a new family for me to fit into. And that was, my friend, the biggest mistake I have ever made. Look, I made the mistake of not taking myself as a priority after my divorce, and I didn't want to be lonely, so, immediately after 2 months, I found a woman and got married to her without knowing and talking about everything with her. The shittiest decision I have ever made in my life, until I die, I will regret it. My stepdaughter was getting married, and I wasn't really involved in the preparations, and I made it clear that I was just going to be there as her mother's date, and I didn't care much about it. I didn't want to seem rude, but they were just so intense about the whole thing that they were piling up responsibility after responsibility on me that I was just not that interested in taking up. The biological father of my stepdaughter was supposed to walk her down and pay for the half the stuff that they were doing, but turns out he pulled out at the last minute, one day before the wedding, and didn't pay for anything, and the decorator was getting mad for not getting the advance payment in time. He also refused to walk her down the aisle for some reason that I'm not aware about, but guess what? I don't really care about that crap. And if you ask me, I have lost interest in this marriage and all that baggage that came with it. My stepdaughter is a good-for-nothing spoiled brat, whereas my kids are so well-behaved and educated folks. That's something I wasn't aware of when I married this new lady. The husband before me divorced her because he almost went bankrupt fulfilling the desires of both of these women. Okay, probably that poor guy was struggling with finances, and that's why he left the wedding halfway. The evening before the marriage, my ex-wife, due to my feeling I would be referring to her as my wife, and the new one, Meryl, called me urgently saying that I needed to come back to the city because our daughter was going into an emergency cardiac surgery. So, a little information on my daughter. She suffers from arrhythmia. This is a heart condition where the heart beats either fast or too slow. In my daughter's case, it was beating really slow and she got really severe pain, and thank God my wife was with her at that moment so that she could seek proper medical attention. The doctor told her that they would need to do an urgent surgery on my daughter and that would require a lot of money. I had more than enough, but that money was supposed to go to my new stepdaughter's wedding. It was my money, and I don't care how much I ruin it for anyone. My daughter is my first priority, so I tried calling Meryl, but her phone was busy, and next time she didn't pick up. I left her a voicemail that I was going to the city to be with my daughter, and I have no idea what went down. Look, I tried everything, and it was her fault for not picking up the call. I pay half of the money, and my wife pays the other half. And the surgery starts. After 4 hours, my daughter's out of danger. My wife and I pull each other to our embrace and just have a proud parent moment while crying and being emotional. My wife had few seminars to attend, so I let her go and promised to take care and be there for our daughter. And that was the date of the wedding of my stepdaughter. Honestly, this may sound unrealistic, but I completely forgot about the existence of her and her stupid daughter when I was with my family, and I think I had my answer there. That I was going to divorce her and break every ties with her and go back to the city to our house. My wife travels a lot and doesn't stay at home much. The kids occasionally visit, and at other times the house remains closed, so now It was time for me to go back to where I belonged. I wanted to take my time on this. So the day passed. My phone had no battery, and I was using an Android, and everyone in my family using an iPhone didn't help me get a charger. So yeah, I couldn't receive any calls, and I wasn't going to anyways. I just wanted to have fun and spend time with my family in general, and even my son came to visit. After the surgery, the four of us were in the cabin, and we talked about how far we all have come, and after emotional talks, I decided to tell them of me wanting a divorce from Meryl, and finally told my family how stupid the whole getting married thing was. My wife said that she was single and wasn't really looking for anything, and just made a ton of friends and had fun with them. She's just so much better than me in every other way, and I just feel sad that I don't have her by my side as my wife. Divorce hurts. After 2 days, I went back to Meryl's hometown, and my bags were already waiting for me packed and ready. And when I asked what it meant, she just simply told me to leave and not come back for another 2 months, and that would be my punishment for ditching them and ruining the wedding. Well, now you're probably wondering how the tables have turned, but in the right direction. I just told her that I won't be coming back and made sure that she put everything in my bag while she left a few things out, like my business papers and everything and a few insurance papers. But I made sure to search it all and bring them back with me. I feel relieved that I walked out of it. They had the marriage, but just without being a lot fancy, which suits them. I feel bad for ruining her day, but trust me, nothing is more important to me than my family. I love them, and I can't live without them no matter what. It's been a month since I left my new life, and I'm getting used to my new one. Last weekend, we all were at our house, and it felt better. I've joined the 80s club where we talk about 80s music and culture and how things were back then. It's nice to see and meet new people, and I actually understand what my wife wanted. She wanted time to herself, having friends and following your dreams. It's all so liberating. I'll probably sell my business or pass it down to my son if he would want to. And it's all slowly improving. I want my wife back. I just can't leave without her. She has been my best friend since forever, and she is the only girl who actually gets and can be patient with me. I don't think I could ever be happy if she wasn't in my life where she actually should be. It's lonely without her. I'm working on myself, and I'm thinking about therapy and gym, like a lot of you suggested. And to clear up the TA comments, I told them a month before that I won't be attending their wedding, so yeah, not my fault. This is my second update here. Okay, I have been going to the gym and therapy. As an old guy, I never thought I would like those things, but both of them worked wonders for me. And yeah, as you all said, it really helped me with my self-esteem issues. And the kids are just over the clouds looking at the progress I've made in 3 months. It feels like I've just graduated high school, and this time my wife isn't pregnant. As most of you have done the calculation, I was a teen dad. Well, my wife and I have gotten closer, and I sometimes travel with her, and maybe we're going for the relationship stage, like being each other's boyfriend and girlfriend stage, which we initially skipped. Her friends are fun, and they have told me that she misses me too. I couldn't believe it, but yeah, we're having a great time. I haven't kept any contact with Meryl or my stepdaughter, nor do I want to. When someone brings them up, my wife just bursts into laughter, and it's the prettiest thing ever. And honestly, I would do anything to keep that smile on her face forever and also be with her. Yeah, daughter, she's improving each day, and she stayed with me for the whole week. I returned, and we had a lot of fun together, and she's still on meds that she really needs to take. Everything is getting better each day. It's not the typical posts you find on Reddit and stuff, but yeah, it was a really good family story and about ditching the stepdaughter's wedding and TA. There's a reason why her bio dad left an evening before. And take things slow with your wife and show her every reason why she should love you more each day. It's going to be fine, I guess. NTA, OP said before that he wasn't interested, and the most he would do is come as the mother's date. So I see no problem here. And about the money? Yes, he did the right thing. His daughter needed it more, and nothing is more important than someone's health. So literally, he is the best dad in the world. I hope things get better between you and your wife. It will take some time. Be patient.
Next story.
My fiancé, Allison, was raised in a mostly loving and happy family. When she was in high school, her mom's husband found out that he had a teenage daughter. Obviously, everyone was shocked and it was hard to adjust. His daughter, Tessa, was pretty troubled, not blaming her at all. She had been through some serious crap and did not adjust well to suddenly being in a stable home. Going to school, having a parent. Tessa acted out a lot, and it was hard on Allison. Allison had a large party planned for her sweet 16. This was a huge deal to her, and she's such a girly girl, social butterfly type, so this was pretty much on par with a wedding to her. Tessa got asked to prom at the last minute and didn't have anything to wear, so she stole Allison's gown. She didn't even get punished for it. Mother-in-law wanted to punish her, but SFIL got all emotional about how she missed out on her entire childhood and only got to experience a little bit of high school and to just let it go. Allison was devastated and had to get a last-minute replacement dress for her birthday. Needless to say, Allison and Tessa hate each other nowadays. It really irks me that Tessa was never disciplined, and Allison has always felt like she came second to Tessa after that. Well, now we are planning a wedding, and so is Tessa. Allison had a dress that she thought she loved, but then she saw Tessa's and broke down crying in private. Tessa's fiancé is loaded. She said that she always gets second best, and it brings back memories of her sweet 16 dress. I immediately expressed sympathy, but SFIL snapped at her that Tessa only got to be a kid for a couple of months, and Allison had plenty of birthday parties. He said he is glad that his daughter went to prom and stopped crying over a dress. Mother-in-law said nothing, so I lost it. I said they both failed as parents. They coddled and made excuses for one child while allowing the other to have her property stolen, and that they should be ashamed of themselves. I said if they really wanted to make it right, they would spend some extra money on Allison's wedding gown to make up for the sweet 16 dress that she never got to wear. I accused SFIL of only loving his bio daughter and said MIL should be ashamed for staying married to him when he refused to punish Tessa. This is a dicey one. The parents are a-holes for allowing Tessa to do whatever she wanted. It's not Allison's burden that Tessa didn't have a childhood. She was punished because of it. It's also not Tessa's fault or the parents' fault that Tessa's husband is loaded. Really, the SFIL is the biggest a-hole for pitting the two kids against each other. As for the dress and what you said, I'm going to say you're out of bounds, but I understand why you came to Allison's defense. I'm not sure I find you to be an a-hole over it, but the parents don't owe Allison a better dress. What they owed her, they've already failed at. WTF? Undoubtedly, there are some a-holes in the family, but you're old enough to be married and still worried about the sweet 16 dress? Not saying trauma shouldn't be addressed, but honing in on his specific issue instead of addressing what must be a pattern of abuse is odd. It totally destroys the bigger argument, though I doubt the parents would listen anyway. I don't understand either. How was Tessa crying in private and in front of her parents? What does private mean in this situation?
Next story.
My stepsister, Anna, 23, and I, 22-year-old woman, don't get along. She decided that she hated me as soon as our parents started dating. Once, she even started a rumor that I clogged the toilet with my period products, which led to my peers mocking me relentlessly for months. I complained to my dad, but he told me that we needed to work things out because he didn't want to risk his marriage. When I was 19, I got my first boyfriend, Chris. I loved him so much. He was the first person in years who made me feel like I was a priority. He even surprised me with a ceramic turtle that he made himself for my 20th birthday. Anna was very nasty about Chris. I couldn't even talk about him because she would SS me whenever I did. I'm not even sure what her issue was. For the most part, I just tried to ignore her and kept telling myself that as soon as I was able, Chris and I could find a place of our own together and I would finally be away from Anna for good. I know it probably wasn't a smart idea to be dreaming about stuff like that, but as I said before, I really loved him. 6 months ago, Chris passed away. I don't want to get into detail about what happened because thinking about it still hurts, but I will say that it was unexpected. When he died, That was honestly the worst day of my life. I could barely eat or sleep for weeks. I lost the job that I had just started because I couldn't bring myself to go to work, and my grades in my college classes took a nosedive. Maybe this is dramatic, but it felt as though the entire world had turned against me. I lost the first person who made me feel good about myself since the marriage. My dad got me into therapy about a month after Chris died, and I feel as if my life is finally starting to get back on track again. I still haven't talked to any of Chris's family since he died, though. I feel terrible, but honestly, I just don't know if I'm ready to handle it right now. 2 days ago, I was out on a walk. I was gone for about an hour, and when I came back, I found out that Anna broke my turtle. There were enough small pieces that it couldn't be glued together. Apparently, she went into my room to borrow a book and accidentally knocked it off the shelf. I lost it. I screamed at Anna, calling her every awful name I could think of, and said that I hoped she died alone. Anna and stepmom both said that I was overreacting, and I told them that I understood why Anna's dad left them. I packed a bag and left to stay with a friend, and when my dad called to ask me to come back, I told him that as long as Anna and stepmom were there, I wasn't coming back, not even for him. Today, I've been getting several texts and calls from other relatives basically saying that I'm awful for the way I spoke to Anna and stepmom. I explained my side of things, but they told me that I was being abusive and that I owe them an apology. I don't know what to think, so that's why I'm here. AITA for yelling at Anna and stepmom? NTA. People here might decide you're an a-hole for what you said, but honestly, it just sounds reasonable. You've been dealing with your half-sister verbally abusing you for years, and now you've got grief over a loved one to add to the equation. At some point, when that all piles up, it just breaks. Maybe it's not the best way to handle your emotion, but it's human, and I can't see any good reason to judge you negatively for that. I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope things get better for you.